What's going on, everybody? It's just finished 3-3. Braga, Leicester, and that was one of the most entertaining games, especially towards the end of the game, that I've ever seen. What are your thoughts on the match?
The defending quality in that was awful, but it was entertaining to watch until it kept you on the edge of the seat, for sure.
Yeah, it was a good performance in the second half, but first half was all over the place, and it was okay. The main thing I think we need to touch on is that we've qualified, we've done it. We're in the last 32. 10 points gets us in, and I think that in itself should be something to celebrate.
Yeah, but at the same time, with the teams in our group, you'd be disappointed if we didn't qualify. But the fact that we're going to qualify most likely top, hopefully get a decent draw for the last 32, we've just got to look sort of hopefully to get quite far into this competition now, because unlike in the Champions League where we were complete underdogs, no one really sort of knew who we were. I know we won the league the year before, but in terms of Europe, no one was really sure who we were. This time we're a bit more of an established side. I know this is our first time in the competition, but in terms of the fact of the Premier League, we've become more established. We've got some more sort of well-known names. We'll be sort of a team that's more feared than we were last time. So it's about now building on what we've started.
Yeah, and from what you're saying, for the first three games, we started really well, playing some decent football, only conceded one goal. Now we've conceded three, but that last minute goal from JD Vardy just really helped us over the line and exactly what we needed. But I think we'll just come on to the first half, first of all. When that first goal went in after 4 minutes, I was thinking, this defense doesn't look right. And something definitely needs to be changed, because I think we've talked about before in the program how we've got strength and depth before. And I just don't think for some reason that strength and depth is really there. Maybe we're kind of confusing ourselves, but I think the strength and depth definitely has a big thing to do with the first half performance.
I just think that we've got the depth in certain areas, but then at the same time in certain areas like wing back, we really don't. I'm sorry, I know Albrighton had a few decent games as a right wing back, but you can just see by his defensive ability. Yes, he puts a shift in and gets back, but sort of his basic defensive sort of awareness and stuff just isn't there to play as a right wing back. To play him as a defensive winger, he works brilliantly, but to play him as a wing back, where sort of he's got to be that sort of bit more defensively aware, he just doesn't seem to have that.
Yeah, I think the main issue at the moment is just for the lack of squad depth that we've got. So we haven't really got a right winger. Normally that would be Castagna or Ricardo. And James Justin wouldn't usually fill in for them, but then obviously Fofana was taken off. He had to take that position. So there was some good passages of football, but I think missing so there was a few players that we took out of the team. So obviously Vardy came out, Fofana came out, and Yuri Tillemans wasn't in the squad. Mendy wasn't in the squad as well, and I think it really showed by half time when these guys came on. It made such a world of difference. But I just want to talk about Under for a second, because I think he played. Oh, I think he played decently at times, and there's definitely a player in him. But I think we just need to keep going with him, because a couple of opportunities he could have got his goal, and that would have really given him confidence. You think?
I think, yeah, if he got his goal, that would have been brilliant. But at the same time, there are two or three occasions where he just needed to slip a ball in behind for Iheanacho and he was through. He seems to be sort of very selfish and very much about under instead of about the team. And I know that's very early to say it, but you'd hope that occasionally he could play the pass and stuff and not always go for goal himself. But at the same time, I think that's probably because he is so hungry to get that first goal.
I think you're right, but I think partly we've seen it in the Premier League where he's played the ball off. I genuinely think that they don't trust Nacho. So at times I was watching the ball, and there was a time where they were breaking away. Under was coming straight through the middle or like towards the goal, and Nacho just got in his way. I think it was in this first half, and I'm like, I think when they play with Jamie Vardy, they're a different team. I think we all know that, especially with the Arsenal performance. But coming into this game, Nacho, I expected a little bit more. He didn't really deliver, in my opinion, but he did get in the way a lot, and he did play some good moves, but it just doesn't. There's just something off and about Nacho where I don't think the players around him even trust him that much.
I don't, but I know the situation you mean. It was when we were counter-attacking with Under and Nacho both sort of getting forward. And it almost looked like Nacho was trying to run across to sort of take the defenders out of the game. And that's where Under needed to play the pass, but Under carried on running and took the shot, and it was straight at the keeper. So he almost hesitated to take the shot, though. So if he was going to take the shot, he needed to do it take straight away. So he sort of, I think he probably doubted himself in what he was going to do. But it's like you say, going back to Nacho, he either needs to, like, it sounds brutal and stuff and harsh, but at the end of the day, if that's the level of club we want to be at the top, then you've got to be brutally honest with it. I don't think he's good enough to be the backup to Vardy anymore. Like, we've seen it. I know he's a cult hero and I love him and all of that, but you you need to be able to rely on these players, not to just have Vardy off the bench saving us every time.
Yeah.
Because ideally, we wouldn't want Vardy to have to play today. The fact he hasn't bagged the goal in the 95th minute is great, but until he came on, we looked like we had no threat at all. When you've got a second choice striker, you really need to be sort of able to rely on them.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I've just looked at it now. Vardy's goal was 90.5, 90 minutes plus 5. So technically, after the minute was 90 plus 4, it was overtime. But yeah, it just, again, Jamie Vardy comes to our rescue again. In the first half, they were defensively, we were looking very shaky all over the place at times. People slipping balls through, and I've put down here, Kasper Schmeichel kept us in the game because, in my opinion, if he hadn't had a pretty awesome game and some amazing saves, we could have been 4 or 5 down at half time.
Yeah, and as much as he takes criticism for his distribution, and fairly so at times, because sometimes it can be horrendous, the quality of some of the saves today were absolutely ridiculous. And not just today, throughout the start of this season and going back last few years, to be honest, his ability to stop shots is absolutely brilliant. And I think what's sort of kept him at the level he is his ability to be a shot stopper. I would like to see him improve his distribution, but I think how good he is at shot stopping sort of makes up for the fact his distribution isn't great.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And at the end of the day, if you want two of the things, a distributor or a shot stopper, the whole point of putting the goalkeeper in the goal is so it stops the goals. And if that means that yes, his distribution again was actually not too bad tonight. It's been a lot worse later on, but again, the fact he's kept us in, and the fact that Brendan Rodgers saw the issue and made the 2 changes in Wesley Fofana and Yuri Tillemans at half time really worked in our favour, because Dennis Pratt and Hamza Chowdhury I put out on the Beyond the 90 Twitter account. I was really excited to see them 2 play together because I think they're quite similar. And they could form a partnership, kind of like Mendy and Tillemans, but it just didn't seem to click for them, or the entire squad really in the first half. They looked rattled. There was lots of sloppy passes. It wasn't clinical enough, and I'm really glad that they made the changes at half time because they just looked like a different side with Fofana and with Tillemans on the pitch.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing is with Hamza Chowdhury, as much as he's got his use as a player, sort of being able to press and he's brilliant at sort of closing people down, I don't think he has the defensive discipline to play as the one holding midfield player, which we needed him to do tonight. I just don't think that role suits him at all. But I think Prayet, and we need to get it back to that pivot of having Prayet, Tielemans and Mendy back in the team, because when we had those 3, that was absolutely brilliant. But then you've got the question of where do you fit Maddison and stuff. But it's with that 3, it worked so well against Arsenal. It worked so well against Man City, Leeds. It seems so frustrating, but now we're almost not playing it. And we've seen tonight we struggled. I know we got a decent result going away to Portugal, getting a draw. But against Liverpool, our midfield just got absolutely overrun. And I think if we'd done what we did against Arsenal and congested that midfield, with having Prayet, Tielemans and Mendy, we may not have struggled as much.
No, I don't think we would have struggled, but at the same time, it just coming into this game more, it's something that we need, and it's just down to lack of match fitness and squad depth, because we've got this. Yuri Tillemans has played game in, game out, and you see the impact when he's been taken out of the squad. We haven't really got another player like him, so we can't just drop somebody else into that position. So we saw it today when they tried to play Pratt and Chowdhury. It just didn't work. So I'm glad they made the differences, but a lot more of the balls were coming through Tielemans, and it made a massive difference overall. But what did you think of this 3-4-3 that we played? Because at times in the first half it looks different, but there's definitely Leicester looks a bit rattled, and I don't want to be too negative. But however, I think criticism where it's due, they just didn't look the same until these two players came on. Another player that really came on as well was Jamie Vardy. When he was in, the team knew what they were doing. They went to a formation that they knew, and they started to create loads of chances. Obviously, Maddison coming on really helped that as well. But it just shows you again, as we were mentioning, Jamie Vardy is the centre to a lot of what we're doing.
Yeah, the thing for me is if we're going to play three at the back, the whole point of going to 3 or 5 at the back is to be more defensively solid. And we're not. Like, they were carving us open completely for the first half. So that's where I don't understand it. And if we're playing three at the back as well, you need sort of very, very high level wing backs to do that. And as much as Albrighton absolutely love what he's done for the club, he's not a high level wing back. And we saw that tonight. I don't want it to turn into a bashing Albrighton session, because I really do like him as a player, but not as a wing back. And it's one of those, like, it's got its strengths, but at the same time, it takes away so much of us going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think his position isn't as a wing back. However, in the formation that we're playing, there isn't really anybody else who can play. Obviously, when again with Ricardo and Castagna come back, they'll take them positions. But what was good about Albrighton is that even in that last minute, he created that assist for the goal. And going forward, he has that knack to just get his head down and get the ball in. And that ball to Vardy, he just put it on an absolute plate, and Vardy's not going to miss that. So it was good that he did that. Again, defensively, that he's kind of on the fringes of the first team. He's not really going to get in if all the players are fit, but it's just what we've got at the moment. And coming into this game, it's something that we needed to get something out of. So do you think we went with a bit of the wrong tactics with playing 5 changes? Because if we would have wrapped this up, got the 3 points, and then gone home, we would have qualified, but I think it would have been a lot stronger for Athens and Luhansk as well. Or what are your thoughts on their situation? And also, I'm just going to look at the scores for their team when they played.
It was 1-0 to Luhansk when I was looking, but I'm not sure.
Just having a look now. But yeah, I think that Sporting Braga 3... No, I can't find it at the moment. 28, but yeah. So I think there's some definite good performances out there at the moment. But actually, what's it called? No, that's the wrong one. 3-3, and Luhansk won 3 against Athens at home. Athens lost by 3-0. So yeah, again, that puts them in a decent position and puts us pretty much qualified, which is good. I don't want to say them too much, but I think to the players, this match will seem like a win, won't it?
It does. It probably will. The fact that we picked it up in the 95th minute, we looked like we were going to lose that for like the 90th minute when they scored late. And the fact that we've basically confirmed qualification now, that's great. We could go. You still want to win the group, but you can rotate more, particularly against the two so-called weaker teams in the group now. You should be able to rotate, rest players, because we've got a busy period coming up. And I know I've noticed on myself, I sound quite negative tonight, and I don't mean to, but I just found it very frustrating, the fact that we've gone from being so defensively solid before the international break to coming back and being an absolute shambles and a mess at the back. But going forward, we do look as good as we did before.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue, and I think it does when Soyuncu comes back and when the wing backs come back, it will make a big difference. And you've got to remember that we've lost players in that, especially in the defensive position. I think Ndidi would make a big difference when he comes back as well. But with his defensive qualities, it will mean a lot for our squad. and losing him has been a big issue. However, as you were saying, it is something that we've done in the past. We have had a better squad playing better football than this. And so it leaves you scratching your head, you know. But I think when Jamie Vardy came on, the match kind of changed. So Luke Thomas was getting forward a lot more. Harvey Barnes, I think, came off. So James Justin and Luke Thomas down that left-hand side were really creative. Obviously, dropping in Maddison and dropping in Perez as well to kind of everything to go to Vardy. Vardy wasn't getting a lot of touches in the box or in front of goal. It was more playing like a winger role almost. But then at the end, that's where we needed him, and he stuck around and got his goal where he deserved. But I think it's good because we came from behind 3 times, and when it went to 3-2, I thought that's it. That's game done, guys. I think we're all right. But I'm glad we played Braga. I'm glad we got the 10 points now, and it's just where do we finish in the group stage, as you were saying.
And I think the main thing tonight was just getting the result. Like, it would have been nice to have had a better performance, but the thing is, when you go to these sort of European grounds, Braga's not an easy place to go, as Wolves will tell you from last year. I'm pretty sure they drew 3-3 as well against Braga last year at their place. I could be wrong on that one, but that shows they're not no mugs at all, and they're a decent side. And I was fully expecting a reaction from us beating them 4-0 over King Power. It was never going to be that easy at their place. So the fact we've gone there, again, unbeaten in the group, go for the plus 32, and now I think our focus should turn to Fulham on Monday night.
Yeah, that's one result that we have to get. Everybody and their grandma's beating Fulham at the moment, and we've got a preview on at the weekend with a Fulham fan, the me and Ant. So we're looking forward to that one. But with that, I think now we've just got to take the points and move on, because it wasn't the best performance. But I think what's good is that we came out second half and we started to play. Yes, we conceded 1 goal, but we managed to score 2 and get a point from it, because at the end of the day, getting that draw is going to matter and taking momentum, because from now on, Ant, the games are coming thick and fast.
Yeah, we've got Fulham Monday, then we've got Brighton, Palace, then another Europa League game, and then I believe it's Tottenham, is it, as well, all within the space of before December the 22nd. We've got something like 5 games. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of games coming, but the fact that we've done it just about, we've wrapped it up 3-3. So we've got the points. We're through the knockout stages now. So hopefully by the time we get this next run coming, we can have a few more players fit and back in the squad that with the long-term injuries, because that's going to really, really boost us going forward. But I think that's everything I've got. So thank you so much for watching us. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you all at the weekend with the Fulham fans. So we're really looking forward to it. So see everybody then. Goodbye.